He's not in your turn.
Yeah. Antonio, you said yesterday that you wanted to take a look at the film before really diving into Aiden O'Connell. Just was curious what your assessment was of his performance.
Yeah, I think two halves, right? First half executing, getting the ball where we wanted to. Maybe a throw or two here, which we can have and complete. And the second half, as we know, no need to press there. There's some situation where we're probably pressing. We've talked about it. It's going to be obviously a great learning lesson, not just for Aiden but for myself. And what positions we put him in, and how we allow the flow of the game to go, and not to have that kind of stress on a young quarterback. So it's a team effort. It's a team's disappointment as well. It's not on Aiden. Aiden, we didn't lose the game because of Aiden. Right? Let's get that straight. But Aiden does know he needs to take care of the ball. I mean, that's the quarterback's number one job, and we'll get better at that.
When it is a rookie quarterback, especially starting kind of mid-season, you have all your goals that are still in front of you, but at the same time, not that you have to accept the fact that there will be some growing pains, but there probably are going to be some growing pains with a young quarterback. How do you kind of walk those two lines right there?
That's where you want the team to kind of rally around the guy. I mean, look around the National Football League. A lot of young quarterbacks are playing. A lot of guys are struggling with young quarterbacks. Some guys are doing really well. For 2 games we did well. And we had one half that didn't go the Raiders' way. And again, as we talk about it, our leaders up front, from Colton Miller to Dre to, Josh Jacobs to Tay, they got to put their arm around a young guy. Because, listen, we all have had rough days like that in the office. And not to point fingers at anybody, you can't do that. It's a team effort when we win. It's a team effort when we lose.
Not Aiden specifically, but hypothetically, when you have a rookie quarterback, what kind of time frame do you have? Do you know whether he's your guy or whether you need to look elsewhere?
We got 6 more games left. So we'll find out in 6 more. And then, we'll see what happens with AP in 2024.
I know it's easy to second guess, but looking back at that last drive before half, I know you said you wanted to kind of protect the quarterback. You still feel that way after looking at the film? Or
I think not just the quarterback, but just our defense as well. They were getting the ball at the beginning of the second half. Very explosive offense. Had 2 timeouts, Our philosophy on certain days is to do things a certain way. With that clock and where it was, and we're in field goal position, go ahead and take as much time off the clock as we could. Let's play this thing out, right? So we do that. We don't convert the first down. We kick a field goal. They don't concede. They throw the ball and complete a 30-yard pass with timeouts. So you can see what they were very aggressive in their mode, and we knew that. We didn't want to have any more seconds on the clock. So that was the philosophy there, and obviously they were getting the ball back in the second half. Didn't want to give them any other opportunities and possessions.
As a player, coming off a loss, what were some of the things that were helpful for you in terms of, learning from it but not letting it kind of linger around and move on to the next one?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because, especially you got 5 hours to sit and play and think about it, right? But I think the one thing I did was just, you reflect on first of all, I think you got to reflect on what you did well, right? And then what can you correct? What was the mistakes? Why did you make that mistake? And to be honest, it's the 24-hour rule. And for us, it's even shorter because we'll be on the practice field tomorrow. And told the guys to flush out their system. Just like we embrace wins, we embrace the losses and learn from them. And we're doing that. You would wish this journey for myself and the team. We'll be undefeated. But that's not going to happen. I'm a realist. But more importantly, you get back to it. It's National Football League, man. Damn, that was a good football team. They lost the 2 defending Super Bowl champions. The defending Super Bowl champion in the Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. So we knew we had up to our challenge, but look, there was no excuse. There was no mistakes. Guys came out fresh. We were ready to go. Did we complain about the heat? No. Did we complain about the travel? No. Guys strapped up and played, and we went out there and we gave ourselves an opportunity in the fourth quarter 3 times to either tie the game or win it, and it just didn't go our way.
You said multiple times yesterday there's no moral victories, but considering how the defense did play against the Dolphins, what kind of optimism does that bring to you going into the Chiefs, another explosive offense?
Yeah, I mean, just, we know what we did really well. We know we didn't do well, especially against an elite receiver like Hill. But we're going to deal with that with Kelsey and probably one of the best quarterbacks in the game, and Patrick Mahomes, who we have ultimate respect for, and Andy Reid is a play caller. It's a good thing for our defense over the last 3 weeks to do what they've been doing. It's just getting better and better. We're healthy. Guys are flying around. They're having fun. They're not blinking. The turnovers has been really critical for us. The guys just attacking the football. You saw that with Nate Hobbs. You see Max do it every play. Robert Spillane almost had another interception. So just, like I told you guys last week, defense travels. I thought they did a good job last week of bringing their lunch pill and getting ready to work, and we're going to have to do that here at home.
Saw that Amik was up, but I don't think I saw him on the field. Was that just still kind of cautionary coming off?
Yeah, protect the player first. He was ready to go, but it wasn't a game where, Amik's a young player. And being a former player, you never want to put somebody in a position. I don't care if they get cleared or not. You want to protect the player, and that was my call.
Antonio, looking forward to the Chiefs. Max obviously has a pretty fun little rivalry with Patrick Mahomes. You've seen that on the Netflix special and everything. When you were playing, who did you have a rivalry with like that, where you would kind of go back and forth with? What's kind of a funny story?
Yeah, Donovan McNabb. And it's funny, even with Andy Reid. I think I played Andy Reid over 22, 23 times in my career, playoffs included. And McNabb was always the quarterback. And when we were kind of rolling with the Giants, I don't know if it was a playoff game, I can't remember, but he ran to the sideline and he picked up the damn telephone and told our coordinators that we needed help down there on the field. And then he told me when he called out the mic, he said, "Hey, 58's the mic," and I just called your coordinator. I said, "Okay, I got you, buddy." All right, and they won the game. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. But sorry, we got him back. I think the next year we sacked him 13 times, and I called his coordinator and his O-line coach. So it was fun. Good dude, man. Very competitive players. It was always fun playing against Andy Reid and McNabb, yes.
You mentioned before how Josh Jacobs, the offense goes through Josh Jacobs. As he goes, they go. When a team focuses on slowing him down like Miami did, how do you kind of get that thing jump-started?
Yeah, we've seen that now in the last 3 weeks. The Giants did it, the Jets did it. Just being consistent. Obviously, we don't want those touches to be at that 14 mark. That's not our number. Our magic number is 20+. And we got to stay with it. It's not always pretty. There's a 1 yard or 2 yard there, but yesterday there were some 5s, some 8 and 9s, and we just got to remember that, as we're calling it and stick with it. And I give Josh a lot of credit. He's very patient, frustrated like we all were with the result yesterday. And obviously, I've said since I've gotten here, it will run through Josh Jacobs. That opens up everything for Devontae, for Jacoby. I mean, you see crazy legs, Hunter Winfrey doing what he was doing yesterday. So it just opens up for our entire offense and our O-line. It helps everybody out. So that'll be the plan. Everybody knows there's no hidden agenda. Yeah, we got the best running back in football, and we're going to use them, and we need to use them.
A couple penalties that took away fairly big plays. One on a sack by Malcolm Kuntz that would have gotten you guys off the field. A couple on some positive yards offensively. Is that just another reminder of avoiding those things in order to not put yourself in those kinds of positions?
Man, especially early on in the game, right? And they all happened to us in the first half. We get a sack by Kuntz, and we get a penalty. We get a big run by JJ, and we get a holding call, and then we get I think they call it a legal pick or something like that, OPI, whatever it may be. But, that's frustrating. But I think what the guys did, we talked about it at halftime, and we made those adjustments. I think, what it was, 3 penalties in Giants, 3 versus Jets, and 5 last week. So the number's going down. We want to keep it in that 3 and under and down the world. But, when it happened, especially on explosive plays, that's tough, and that obviously extends drives for the offense or defense.
Obviously, you were part of coaching the defense last year. What do you think have been the biggest factors in just, the turnaround that you guys have made on that side of the ball so far this year?
I think it starts with the coaches, understanding who our personnel is and playing to the strengths of our personnel, and then the players buying into what we're doing. That's the big thing. Well, how do you buy in? You got to have success. And as you start to have success as a team and as individuals, you start to believe in what the coordinator is saying and how he's setting certain things up. And Patrick Graham has done an outstanding job with that each and every week. I think it was on full display yesterday. That offense is explosive. Yes, they got us early in the game, but there's, think about that 4th down stop. That was huge. Think about the turnovers. Think about just, limiting the running game, not getting those guys started on the explosive runs that they've had. Number 10 is difficult to stop, and we knew that was a challenge. But when you get guys like Robert Spillane, Marcus Epps, you got Max Crosby, you got, your blue-collar guys with Jinx and Bilal and those guys, and AB, it all starts to come together, and you start to build this tight-knit group who have pride for one another and don't want to let each other down. And that's what we talked about, and that's been throughout the spring and the summer. Now it's carried on to the season.
To lean on Isaiah Pola-Mao at safety, seemed to answer the bell pretty well.
He did. I've known Isaiah since he was younger, very athletic safety. You saw that there on that deep ball, came out the post and when he got it. I thought he was very physical in the game. Here's a guy, you know how it is in a week. The starters get all the reps. He might have got a handful of reps, but you couldn't tell. Came in right away, was very impactful, very physical in the run game, and obviously has some traits in the back end to cover a lot of ground for us. So you'd love to start seeing him get going, with that combination with Epps and Trayvon, and then get Teamer back in the mix. You like what you got in the back end.
It's always easy to second guess, but how difficult was it to make the decision on fourth down to go for it instead of trying to kick those field goals?
Went there to win. You know, early in the game, you probably kick the field goals. Fourth quarter, how many possessions I'm going to get, I don't know. Okay, kick one field goal, go for another one, I still need a touchdown to win. Do we keep holding that offense down? You know, we was getting 3 and outs. There's a lot of factors that go into it. But I told our team, I told my team we were all in when we went down there. Hell, look, if we played to win. I'll leave it at that. We played to win.
Another guy you've worked directly with the past 2 seasons, Luke Masterson, who also forced a fumble. Can you just talk about the progression of him from undrafted rookie out of Wake Forest to what he's doing now?
Yeah, very similar, right? I think from high school to college was a quarterback receiver, then goes to play safety for a couple of years, switches to linebacker. He comes here, we work together. He does an outstanding job of just, changing his body. He looks like a linebacker now, and then you really trust him as like the third linebacker and possibly a starter. He's playing that way. He's been very capable of going in and making plays. He just shows up. He flashes here and there, and he'll get better and better. But here's a young guy that last year played a lot and started in some games for us. And now when something happens to the Diablo or, Splay needs to take a break, he goes in. He can be a green dot. He can play both Mike and Will for us. Hats off to him because, he studies the game and plays the game the right way.
Does Blaine know what a break is?
No, I hope he doesn't because I don't want him out the game either. But, hey, listen, I told you guys a while back, blue collar, old school. You sit there looking at him, you can tell he's just battered and bruised, and he just, nope, not coming out. Nope. You need a breather. Nope. Want to keep going and can't have enough of them. Him and Max can't have enough of them.
You have an update on Colton Miller?
No, we do not. Actually, the guys are coming in today, the day off. Some guys are getting treatment. But, Colton was close last week. So I'm hoping, we get our big boy back this week.
Very good.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.